standing out in a crowd. Let's welcome Chris to help us do that as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Belinda. And do keep drinking more wine because my jokes get funnier the more wine you drink, so it does help the evening. And do please ask questions as well. So we're giving prizes for questions. So the more questions you ask, if you ask an intelligent question, you win a book.
Yay.
If you just say, can I have a book please, Chris, that's not a question. So think about that, think about questions. Got about 20 books there, so you can win those fantastic questions. And I'm going to go through top 10 tips about how you can enhance your personal brands for your career, wherever it happens to be, whether it's about starting a business, getting promotion, or actually just starting on that career ladder, or getting a new job, or changing career, or changing that industry. So ask questions along the way. I want to make this very interactive. This is all about you. So I want to make sure you get a lot out of this as well. We'll also do Q&A at the end, and I'll hang around at the end, of course, as well. So do have a think about what you want to ask and what you want to know to make a difference to your life and your career for your LinkedIn. But why listen to me? There's lots of other people out there who claim to be LinkedIn kind of experts, but they don't have 750 LinkedIn recommendations like I do. That's the most in the entire universe. They don't have 5 Power Profile Awards from LinkedIn themselves because nobody else does. And they haven't won lots of awards, such as the B2B Marketing and Best Brand in Asia, for example, we won this year. And they don't have these books. So this is the best-selling book about LinkedIn, LinkedIn Mastery for Entrepreneurs, which is this one here, which you could buy on Amazon. Interestingly, you can't get it on Kindle in Singapore, because did you know that Kindle is banned in Singapore? It's subversive, clearly. It's very subversive, but you can if you switch your VPN on, and you just basically switch it over, and you can download the Kindle then. We have this one, Personal Branding, which you can win tonight, because it's all about personal branding, it's all about you. And then the third best-selling book is actually this one here. Based on our social selling conference, which we had at Microsoft this year, which we sold out 400 people. It's going to be next year. It will be in Marina Bay Sands to cope with the amount of people going to be coming to it. And that's our third best-selling book. All these available on Amazon across the entire universe. We also have the 5 brands. We have Black, which we've been going for 5 years now, which works for entrepreneurs doing social selling. We have Social Selling, which is the conference brand. We have Dark Art, which does personal branding, i.e. your personal PR. So we get people in places like Business Times, get people on Media Call, we get people on TV, radio, we get people on keynote speaking, do books for them and so forth. And then we even have a brand called Mohawk, appropriately enough, which does actually holiday and hotel marketing, but in a B2B focus. So we take TripAdvisor reviews and we put them on LinkedIn, they become B2B, and we use social selling to drive mice sales for hotels. And then we have the Masterclass brand, which is the mini version of it, where I go around the world talking about LinkedIn and personal branding for people who are normally multinationals. And if you Google yourself, this is why you need to have a very good LinkedIn profile. Because I Google Belinda and Belinda's profile comes up. Because I'm not even putting LinkedIn there, but her LinkedIn profile beats her Facebook profile, which is down here. It beats Twitter, it beats Instagram, beats everything else, because the amount of substantiation you need to put into LinkedIn is higher. So Google and LinkedIn look at how hard it is to do something, how many links to it, so they boost it. So that's what you need to think about Google for. And of course, the first impression you get is Belinda background here, and you'll notice Belinda doesn't have a background picture, which we'll go into a bit later. Because we picked out some of your profiles to examine later. It's my favorite bit of the evening, going through people's profiles. It's actually fantastic. So why LinkedIn? Well, LinkedIn is the only platform there's basically 600 million professionals, and it's across the world. And that's key because it's actually in China. And it's the only social media network in the West that's available in the East. It's available in China because Facebook isn't, something like Twitter isn't, Instagram isn't, YouTube isn't. And with the VPN also now being banned in China, you can't even switch the VPN on to get this. But you can with LinkedIn, which is why it's the second largest country in the world, behind India and America. So India, it won't surprise you to know, it's phenomenal. Yeah, every single person here gets bombarded by Indian engineers, I'm sure. I get at least 10 a day, trying desperately to get out of India and get a job. But obviously it's phenomenal. And then Indonesia, Australia, places like Singapore, 2.3 million, which is quite amazing. You consider all the taxi drivers here, the cabbies, the construction workers, the domestic helpers, the seniors, the juniors, and that's basically every single person who's got a job in Singapore is on LinkedIn. So that's the potential, is that all these are going to grow and grow and grow. These interesting things like Japan and Korea, which doesn't really work. Culturally, it doesn't work in those particular countries. So it's all about kind of the other countries kind of growing. And LinkedIn's very much a gamification platform. Does anyone know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
What? Let's say yes. You got to say what?
You get badges and you get a ball.
That's it. Yes, that's exactly it. So it's a bit like TripAdvisor. You write a review on TripAdvisor and they say, well done, here's 100 points, now you're level 77 restaurant critic. And you go, wow, that's amazing. And they say if you write one more review, you can be level 78. You think, wow, I've always wanted to be level 78 restaurant critic. Of course, it doesn't mean anything, but it encourages you to do more reviews. And that's what LinkedIn does. The more you do on LinkedIn, the more you boost your rankings, the more things actually go up as a result of it, the more your search goes up. So do more things on LinkedIn, even if it's just the app. Download the app, use the app to do things. But I like this quote here. Not because I like James Blunt, because no one would admit to liking James Blunt. Not on stage. I'm self-deprecating because I'm British. If I was American, I would tell you how great I was. Because all Americans, I know the Americans in the audience here will back me up here, you all have a DNA which says, I am great at 1 month old. We know that because we can see the President of the United States saying he is great despite the fact, obviously, evidence would say he's not great. But you're competing on LinkedIn with Americans because there's 170 million Americans on there all saying they're great at things they're not. So you have to basically beat them at their own game and self-promote yourselves because you're better than they are. So you actually have done the things you said you're going to do, whereas they haven't. They just basically say they've invented things they haven't invented or do things they haven't done. It's true. So there are basically 4 ways we believe you should improve your LinkedIn profile. And the first one is about you. It's all about personal branding. It's about you. Second one's about content marketing. We'll talk a lot about that today. The third one's about company pages and company marketing if you happen to run a company. And the third one's about social selling. So how do you socially sell yourself? How do you socially sell your company? So the top 10 tip, the first tip is your visual impression. So important. If I show you this, you get a visual impression of his brand. The Joker has a brand. He has brand values, he has disruption and chaos, and he has that fantastic makeup and the hair and the style. It has brand value. So we all have brand value. So if I show you Steve Dawson, for example, he's on Fox Sports, but he wants you to be known the fact that he's also a coach. So he's gone big on the fact he's a coach. Unmistakably, he's a coach. GPS girl here, she is on every single GPS in the world going recalculating. I met her in Auckland and she's amazing. She's on 2 billion devices and she's the voice of Siri. But she's created a brand based on it. She's the GPS girl, the gpsgirl.com. And she's now a keynote speaker, she's a musician, she does lots of things as well. She's actually got an amazing voice. But she really gets the way that LinkedIn is about building up her brand. She's basically just a couple of people, but she's got the brand. She owns GPS. So you can do that yourself. Her GPS is like my Mohawk. It's just, you have to have something like this as a hook. Steve Addy here has gone big on burgers. That's it. He wants to be known for burgers, and being in Melbourne, he makes burgers. That's it. That's his point of difference. That's his key selling point. Sophia the robot here is also on LinkedIn. She's obviously a robot. I actually met her in Hong Kong, but had a bizarre conversation about the state of Hong Kong, because obviously you program not to say anything controversial. And you try and provoke her to say something controversial and she won't do it. But she's on LinkedIn too. So what not to do? Don't do this. Because as much as I might aspire one day to being George Clooney, I'm not. So I can't use George Clooney's picture on my LinkedIn. I also can't do this. Why would you have a headless picture on LinkedIn? How can you create a relationship with somebody who has a headless picture? I don't know. This is like your Facebook photograph. Don't do this. This is like after tonight, you've had a few drinks, you say you're going down to Boat Quay, you dress as a panda, one of your friends say, take a picture of you, put it on LinkedIn, because Chris said not to do it. Then you take a picture in the morning and go, what do I do on my LinkedIn? Why are people texting me and saying what a funny picture I've got on my LinkedIn? Don't do that. Don't do this. Which one's Melita? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know. You can't correlate a relationship with somebody you don't even know who you're talking to. And this one, why would you put this on your LinkedIn? Unless you're selling Guinness, why would you do that? And I've seen lions and tigers and dragons. It's like, why are you doing that? And why would you do this? I really didn't get this. I thought of this several times going, what is the angle here with Facebook and this? It's like, it makes no sense. Or this is like the CEO of the Canadian International School. And it's like, is that a picture of Canada? Is that, I don't know, UK, the White Cliffs? Where would you put that on your LinkedIn? I just don't get that at all. Not even a nice picture of Canada or the Canadian School, which has lovely pictures. It's like that. It's not selling him. And this guy could not decide which picture to use. So he used all the pictures. Elizabeth here went for the full Tinder look. Unfortunately, Elizabeth works for a small company called the Hyatt Corporation, and she works in human resources. You can't have a picture like that if you work in human resources. And don't do this. For obvious reasons, do not cover your face and think it's creative. Creative people tend to do this all the time, think it's cool and interesting. They're the only ones to do it. They're not. And honestly, don't do this. Especially if you live and work in China. Not very popular with your work colleagues if you're about to go to war with somebody whose picture you have on your LinkedIn profile. Not a good idea. Yes, all real profiles. I don't have to make this shit up. These are people who have actually done this shit. They've actually made these mistakes.
Do you tell them?
We tell some people, yeah. We've actually had a few people that are actually asking us to remove them from the presentations because one of their friends shows them to them. And I go, it's public domain. It's completely, you're in charge of it. If you don't want it on there, take it off. You're completely in charge of your own social media, and nothing is private on social media, so don't be on it. If you're worried about your Facebook, don't be on it. You know, simple as that. There's a question over there? Yeah, sorry.
You know, where you're open to everybody and anybody.
I mean, most people are. I come back at the end of that. I'm what you call an open profiler. I've been open profiler for like 8 years. Most people are who do sailing, because they want someone to actually be able to mail them. So most people who've got a premium account are actually open profile, what you call a lion. I never actually call myself a lion because I think it's slightly strange. There's a question over here, yes. Yeah.
She's a fence sitter, so she doesn't really want to be on social media, but at the same time she knows she needs a LinkedIn profile. So
Yeah.
what words of wisdom have you got for her being a fence sitter?
If she Googles herself, she'll realise her picture comes up, there's nothing there. So she's giving a negative impression of someone straight away. So basically, I think Rochelle, for example, before I connected with Rochelle, basically she didn't have a picture for second connection. She only had a picture for first connections. A lot of people don't realise that. They've ticked a box which says only your first connections can actually see your photograph. When actually you want everyone to see it, because you want someone to warm to you, to basically have engaged with you and to empathise with you. So she can't be a face sitter. Because if I Google her, normally her pictures will come up anyway. So I've even had people who've hidden their pictures and I've Googled them, and Google disregards LinkedIn's privacy concerns and the picture comes up on Google Images. So whether she likes it or not, her picture's actually coming up. Go for, yeah, yes. No, don't do that. Don't do that, because it's about you. You can sell your company through your personal brand, but it's about you. So basically don't confuse the two. Your company logo should be on your company page. Yes? Yeah.
And you apply at quite different industries. For example, I apply at sports fashion, but then also the pharmaceutical company.
Yes.
And they have very different profiles.
Totally, yeah. So what you could do there is have a background which has mixture of pictures on. You can have a summary section which tells your story and appeals to both areas. And you can even have a independent consultant looking for opportunities in these particular areas. And have keywords, for example, that represent both sections. So you keep the options open. There's a whole team of people going on this now. It's like, yes, go ahead. A pre-question, okay.
For example, I come from a public health, which is very social,
Yeah.
where a lot of people know each other personally, as opposed to people looking like LinkedIn. So my question is, why LinkedIn? I know that other maybe sectors, and I mean, I'm here because I'm in a new country,
Yeah.
and some people need
So,
a of reference.
I mean, it's a great question. I mean, when you move country, definitely you need to do it. So I didn't have anyone on LinkedIn here in Singapore before I moved here. I used my connections in London to say, who do you know in Singapore? They said, meet this person, this person. They all said yes because it's Singapore. And so basically it's social, and I got my first, second and third job by networking through LinkedIn. Those jobs were marketing jobs across the whole of Asia. I didn't know one in Asia, so I needed to use LinkedIn to reach people in China and Japan and Indonesia and Australia. So you need it. You also need it if you're thinking at any stage in your future of actually changing career or actually getting promoted. There's no point you get made redundant or you get fired or the company runs out of money and they go, oh shit, he's got my LinkedIn. It's too late. You need to invest in relationships 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years beforehand, so that when you get made redundant or your company does run out of company or you want to change sector, you want to change company or country, you have the relationship so you can leverage that and say, hey, do you know somebody in this country? Do you know someone in this company? And because you've built those relationships up through basically socializing on LinkedIn, people are like, yes, I can help you, I can help you, I can help you. They won't help you if you basically come to them at the last minute and go, I need a job, can you help me? They go, I don't know you. There's no relationship being built up there. Social media is literally that, it's social. If you don't build up your social media kudos and your credibility and your karma, basically no one's going to help you. So I think that's a fundamental reason why you need it. Whether you like it or not, people are finding you on LinkedIn. Yes? Yes, go on. You got a spotlight on you as well. CV. Don't have a CV. Literally, people email me their CVs, I delete them and look at their LinkedIn profiles. If they don't have a LinkedIn profile, I'll delete them full stop. Because if they don't have a LinkedIn profile, it means you're not using the whole recommendations, and I can't check who we both know, and I can't see their videos and their thought leadership, and I can't see their content, what they're sharing, what colleagues are saying about them, what clients are saying about them. You can't do any of that on your CV. Your CV is redundant.
But the information on your CV, you should still have it on your...
No, but you don't have a CV. That's what I'm saying. Don't have a CV. Just use your summary page and your CV, your cover letter should be your summary section. Your experience in your CV should be your experience section. But LinkedIn has things like recommendations. So one of the best things about LinkedIn is you can have recommendations on there about what your jobs have done, and people can check those recommendations out, which is fantastic. You can also have things like videos on there, and basically, here's my video of my keynote, for example, and look at me doing this. You can't have that on a CV. Back! Whoa, fantastic. Congratulations to the IT team.